Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Matt Knapp's Functional Insanity. Been a while, I know. Uh, Today is May 15th. It's Thursday. 2 weeks since I had a stroke. I'm doing a lot better, but that ain't what I'm here to talk about today. Today I'm here to shamelessly whore myself out and advertise my books. There's one that I have written a few months ago. It's called The Adventures of Wolfgang Howe, Book 1, The Legend Begins. It's about a werewolf that's captain of a submarine, and he don't believe in the moon. Yes, I know. You're thinking, man, what? I'm telling you, it's actually a really good book, and that's exactly what brings me here today. Speaking of podcasts and all, one of the guys from the ever-popular D&D podcast, Critical Role, Joshua Story, will be graciously doing the audio book for me. Him and, you know what, I'm drawing a blank because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning when we talked about it. But, yeah, very popular voice actors and all did an outstanding job in the audition. I mean, blew it out of the water. Holy shit, this is the guy got to have to do this. Well, I did try sound booth theater. Unfortunately, you've got to have so many sales before they'll get it. Well, we still love him anyway. Jeff Hayes is awesome. You ought to check out Anything to Do. But, yeah, werewolf that does not believe in the moon and is the captain of a submarine. So what makes him change, you're asking? Well, he believes it's because he was bitten by a dolphin when he was a child. Yeah, I know. It's one of those weird-ass things that I wrote in there. But you know what? Screw it. Why not? I mean, I wrote a book about cowboys and dragons, cowboys and cicadas. Well, actually, Evil Wizard used demonic cicadas. That's part of my Twilight Hunter series. You know, it's Western, supernatural mixed in it. A lot of different elements from legend, pop culture, and stuff like that. Since Sherlock Holmes is public domain, he does meet up with Sherlock Holmes and Van Helsing. He fights Dracula's little brother. That's book 1, Blood Hunter. We'll do a show on them one night. But yeah, Wolfgang Howe, Adventures Begin. It's werewolf. His name is Wolfgang Howe. Kind of on the nose, yeah, I know, but you know what? Screw you, I wrote it. People read it, people happen to like it. Let me read off these chapter titles for you, and y'all will definitely think there's something wrong with me. If you don't already, other than the fact I had a stroke. Chapter 1, The Howling Depths. 2, Deep Trouble. 3, Rackin' Tacos. 4, Atlantis Boogaloo. Yeah, they go to Atlantis. He meets up with, Lord Poseidon and his wife, Amphi. I can't pronounce her name. I just call her Amphi throughout the whole book. What? I can't pronounce half those names. It's no different than the names people give their kids nowadays. Don't get me started on that. You named your child Tyrion. Your daughter's name is Khaleesi. In 20 years, you know they're going to get made fun of, right? Anyway, Chapter 5, Nuke the Whales for Fun and Profit. 6, Deserted Island Marriage Counseling. 7, Full Moon Madness at 60,000 fathoms. Chapter 8, Deep Sea Speed Dating for Dumbasses. My God, try saying that 9 times fast. That will give you a stroke. Welcome to the Island of Maniacs. An info or psycho to be determined. Sex Robot Rebellion. We'll come back to that in a minute. Dear God, people. Chapter 11, The Society of Lunar Cheese. 12, Soap Operas, Cults, and Oversexed Cocker Spaniels. No, nobody gets fucked by a dog in this one. In this book. That's a different story, folks. Don't give me that look. Cheeseburgers and Falsehoods. Chapter 14, Captain Gummy's Fruit Snack Scandal. God, that's another one of those could be a tongue twister, Chapter 15, Christmas Sleigh Bells. Yeah. Chapter 16, Milkshakes, Memories, and Monsters. 17, Necromancers versus Werewolves. 18, The Case of the Missing Private Barts. 19. Island Paradise Massacre. 20. Liches, Witches, and Crazy Bitches. And there's plenty of all of them. Chapter 21. Receptions and Reunions. 22. Lobster God versus Werewolf. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys there. That chapter there, when I was writing, is like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was really tired. Excuse me, guys. Just having issues there. But yeah, I mean, it got really weird really fast. And chapter 23, global warming is bullshit. Which, I keep hearing that Antarctica is like refreezing. So wouldn't that make global warming bullshit? You know, I don't know. That's a good question. But, I'm not a scientist or anything. I don't know. If you're coming to me here about current events, say like Palestine, Israel, Gaza, all that, and be honest, I don't care. I really don't. I'm sorry. I hate people are dying. I do. I mean, but guys, everybody goes, oh, you need to read the Bible. Okay, read your Bible. That region there is where most of biblical events took place at. What were they doing? Fighting. Nothing has changed. And, it sucks. It does. Yeah, I'm checking my phone. It's my podcast. I'll do whatever the hell I want. Anyway, I'm trying to upload a video, which it's going to probably take about a year, which my internet lately has really sucked. Don't get me wrong. T-Mobile's great, but out here where we live out in the middle of the woods. Signal kind of sucks in a big way. I mean, some days it's great, other days, nah, it ain't happening. You might have to say screw it. That's why I got a whole damn shelf full of DVDs and stuff. I got books to read, I got books to write, so that's just how it is. Okay, yeah, I'm not even responding. Never mind. But yeah, along with Wolfgang Howe, I also had somebody complaining a while back about one of my books, The Star Strider Chronicles, which originally it started out as a joke between me and my friend John and another friend of mine, Eddie. He's Eddie Pritt. He was a great guy. I don't, people that knew him around Cersei or whatever. He was an old, drunk, crazy, kind of crusty old man, but he was my friend. And I loved him to death. But he's gone. But somebody said something about, collections of books. How, well, you've got all these books, Matt. Why don't you put them all in like collections where it's multiple books at once? And I am working on doing that with some of them. First one I did was Star Strider Chronicles. Star Strider Double Shot, which it's books 1 and 2, and it's altogether it is a little over 700 pages, but it's 2 full books. Yes, book 2 does end on a cliffhanger. So does book 1. Book 3, honestly, if I wanted to, I could finish it in a couple of days, but I don't want to rush it. The first one of those books, first Star Strider book, originally was called Trash Tales. Originally, it was going to be a comic strip. Me and John and Eddie, we on our trash truck, we were going to put together a newsletter every week called What the Trash Man Saw, because you see some weird shit as a trash man. I mean, this here behind me, love it, but dude, it's nothing compared to what we've seen on the trash truck. We seen some stuff that was like, wow, dude, really? What goes on behind closed doors makes this look tame. Yeah, anyway. But we were going to write out this newsletter, and at the end of it, it's going to be like this little 3 or 4 panel comic strip about an intergalactic trash truck. There's going to be 3 of us on this trash truck flying through space, picking up garbage for aliens. Well, I had this old laptop, and I was like, man, and they're like, well, hey, country, why don't you write a book? So I went home. It's November 9th, 2009. Damn near 20 years ago now. And I sat down And it started out, me, Eddie, and John on this trash truck. And we get this pop, guys, okay, if you watch this, if you want your trash man to like you, first, don't fill your damn trash can full of water. We hate that shit. Those big cans, oh, you think it's funny? Well, when you have to lift it about 5 foot up like that, I broke my back doing that, and it's been 15, 16 years ago, and I still have problems out of my back because of it. And they're thinking that maybe one of the injuries I sustained back then is what led to my current blockages I have here in my neck. But anyway, guys, trash men are just out there trying to make a living. Okay, that's all they're trying to do. They're just trying to get by. They're trying to feed their families, trying to pay bills. Don't feel exaggerated. Cat litter. If you have cats and you fill your trash can full of cat litter, I hope your cat shits in your mouth at night. You deserve it. Or at least they pee all over you. Because that stuff gets heavy fast. We had one guy had one of these huge 96-gallon toter cans. I'm almost 6 foot. It comes up to here over me. A little over 5 foot tall. Big, wide damn can. He would fill it full of cat litter and then take his water hose and fill that full. Do you know how heavy that is? It damn near killed me and a friend of mine. Got to where one of my friends, Joel, would carry around a little hammer. It had a spike on it. He'd round it down with a grinder, and he would smack that inside of a trash can, drain holes at it. Some of the guys would drill holes in it. I mean, hey, if you ask people, a lot of times trash men might not have a problem. Okay, I'll bring a drill, poke a hole in it, take a knife. So the water drains out when it rains in there. Anyway, in the book, we were at this pile. It was a bunch of boxes. That was another thing we always hated was your fucking recycle center would take the boxes, get these people, we're going to stack them all out there. Can I stack them out there for recycle? You could have called the office. The cardboard truck came and got them. Anyway. On big piles, the driver would get out and help us. Eddie always loved to get out and help us because we loved Eddie. Eddie was great. Also, he was always looking for booze. Anyway, and in one of the boxes in the book, we found this strange device. I thought it was a portable DVD player. It had an AC plug. Long story short, I plugged it into the trash truck, and it was the, what did I call it thing? Star Warp module. Guys, the original rough draft of that book is awful. Oh my God, I look back on it, and it's like people say, stuff I wrote when I was 12 I'm embarrassed about. I was in my early 20s, and I'm embarrassed back. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I wrote that. But it came to basis for Star Strider, which, okay, it's a romance novel. I will get it out there. I ain't going to spoil it, but dude ends up blasted across the universe. There he starts different women. I know what you're thinking. No, it does not start out like that. At first, he's not interested in none of them. It slowly builds into that. It's not one of those just over-the-top romance novels. Later on, it does get in there, and he gets his. Good for him, Character's name is Matt Stone. Originally, it was supposed to be Matt Knapp. I was like, nah, man, I don't want myself to be the main characters, but I do like the name Matt Stone. Okay. And, he meets these alien chicks, meets one of them. First girl he meets, a girl named Tarsi. And in the final version of it, whenever he lands on this planet called Arcturus, dude is slammed into a river. Gets ejected out of his vehicle, shot about 40 foot in the air, and smacks in this creek, and he almost dies. So, I fell like 10 or 15 foot and hit the water, and it hurt. I can only imagine going that damn high and hitting it. Man, that would suck. But she's a little bit younger than him. He's like 18 or 19. She's 15. She starts developing. There's feelings back and forth, but he's more interested in a woman. Not going to spoil it, but if you get to read it, the story will draw you in. And I mean, it's got some funny parts in it, and it's got parts that will make you sit down, like a buddy of mine told me. She's like, Matt, she said, I sat down and ugly cried when I read that. She said, I bawled. And she's not normally an emotional person, but that book made her cry. She said, there's parts I'm cheering, and I'm like, yeah. And she said, there's parts I'm like, I got called emotional terrorist, which was pretty great. It was freaking hilarious. Loved it. Loved everything about it. Like I said, book one ends on a cliffhanger, but book two picks straight up those books. There's none of this. Oh, it's 6 months later. No. Like when you finish book one, the beginning, and you go into Flames of War. Let's see. Yeah, I know I wrote it, but I don't remember what book. Okay, that's chapter 11. That would be book 2. That character's book 2. Yeah. I mean, it picks straight up right after, table of contents and the title and all that. And I mean, just bam, right where book one left off, book two continues. But I mean, damn, look at that thing, guys. Look at that. We had textbooks like that in school. And then look at this one. And it's, damn, almost 270 pages. Okay, I didn't realize it was that long. That one, I did spacing on the letters or the lines a little bit better. For a reason, because the print was so small and I just didn't like how it was coming out. So, and a friend of mine, she got her a copy of it. It's a little bit, it's 14 font print, a little bit larger, easier for people to read it. Yeah, it's a bigger book and all. And yeah, it's $35 freaking dollars, but those books are like $20 a piece. So I mean, after taxes and all, you can get the double shot there cheaper than you can get books 1 and 2. I keep ordering them. I order copies, but I give them to people. I donate them to the library. I give them to friends. That's just my way of getting, my work out there. And this book here, there's one other copy I know of that I've given away. It was before I went back and did some changing, and it said The Amazing Adventures instead of The Adventures of. And my buddy CJ's got it, but whatever. And, looking through it, like here in one spot, well, you can't see it because the damn camera sucks, but the different fonts I have in there, one of them looks like regular print, and the other was supposed to look like handwriting. And that's another reason I ordered prints like this, so I can go through there and it's like, okay, it changed this font. I didn't want it to. So we're going to go back in there and we're going to set it up where it looks like somebody's handwriting, not like they just typed it out. Because doing that brings a little more depth to it. It pulls you in. You feel a connection with the person that's like writing this letter or this death threat or whatever. But, okay. And I said we would go back to it. Sex doll. Okay, guys, look. I'm not going to judge anybody for what they spend their money on. I'll take that back. There are a few things I will judge you hard on. It's your money, but whatever. But, they're all talking about, like, the male loneliness epidemic. Okay, well, that's where sex dolls come in. First of all, I know for years it was like the blow-up dolls, and it was like the running gag. Now, for like $100,000, you can get them that walk, talk, you can program them. Okay, guys, out of the people that done this, that are behind this, have they never watched Terminator? Or that movie Megan? It's actually pretty good. Any movie about killer robots. Come on, guys. And somebody said the other day there was one that they've made, they installed consent mode. I'm sorry, what? You're programming a robot that has a skeleton made of fucking titanium. It's like one of the hardest metals there is. Has like what if it revokes consent halfway during you know, you're having sex with it. From what I understand, I don't know if it's gospel or gorilla shit. Some dude actually had this happen. And oh my God, he got a third party app installed on his sex doll. Who is out here making these apps? More importantly, are you installing a third party app on your love bot? And from what I understand, they have dirty talk mode, which I'm not getting into. I just anyway. The sex doll did not like the tone he used when he referred to her. It upset her and offended her. However, he didn't apologize fast enough. Apparently, when they put the lady part in, there's like this big silicone sleeve that's got this tube for fluid collection. This model had a retractable cage around it that kind of scrunched up around objects when inserted. The app bypassed the safety measures, and the only thing that kept him from being fully neutered was that silicone sleeve. I read this and I'm like, what? And it's a real thing, guys. You imagine being a guy at work in tech support somewhere, and you get a phone call. Hello, this is Darius at IT Tech Support. How may I help you today? Can you please repeat your problem? Sir, I cannot understand you. I'm going to transfer you to my manager. Yeah, you know what? Call me racist all you want. But you call tech support, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a guy from India. I have no problem with it. Most of them I can understand. There's one of them I sat and talked to for like 3 hours one day. Had an issue with my Xbox. Dude's name was Josh. Cool as hell. We're friends on Xbox. I play on PlayStation now, but I ought to hook up my Xbox, see if he's on there. Anyway, can you imagine that? And they record these calls, folks. Can you imagine being in a training session? Because I was a telemarketer once for like 5 days. I did 4 days in orientation. I was on the floor an hour and a half. And we were calling these old people. Oh, it don't matter. If we can even get just $5 for disability check. That kind of got to me. Yeah, I quit anyway. But we had to listen to calls people took. People getting cussed out, screamed at. One girl, I'll not name any names, because I don't want to get sued, mostly because I can't remember it. I can't remember correctly what it was, but anyway, she had this guy that would call every day for like 2 weeks, and they would talk, and he'd always donate to whatever, blah, 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 to get sales. He was a recruiter for a phone sex hotline. This was before OnlyFans, okay? She quit down there at, I can't remember what the hell it was called. I don't know, a bunch of people worked there, and I can't remember. But anyway, I'll try. She quit there. Got set up at home with a phone doing this for a living. She was making like $2,000-$3,000 a night. Sat around in her pajamas, drinking coffee, having phone sex with guys. I was like, Hell yeah, Grandma. You can't believe she'd do that. That's people like, well, do you have a problem with somebody who does OnlyFans? No, not really. Good for them. Just like prostitution. Legalize it. If you're gonna holler my body, my choice, let them do it. And don't say I'm being degrading to women. To quote Gary Busey, I don't get what women are so pissed off about. They got half the money and all the pussy. I know I'm terrible. But no, guys, I have no problem with women's equality. I believe, women should get equal pay, equal rights, the whole shebang. But going back to the sex doll thing, in the book, there are two of them. Their names are Bella and Rain. And one of the characters, Private Kevin Parts, hired a wizard to bring them to life. Not for their regular activities, but so he could practice talking to women. And that does kind of make me sad, because how many guys out there buy these dolls and upload these programs just to have a human connection? I knew one guy, I'm not going to name his name, not going to give his name or anything, lived in New York several years ago. He's since passed on. He lost his battle with cancer. He's a close friend of mine. And every Friday night, he would hire a prostitute, never had sex with him, but he'd take them to dinner. Just because before his wife had passed away, every Friday night they went out to dinner. And like he told me, he said, Matt, he said, she was the only woman I ever felt that I ever loved. And he said it was nice just to go out and talk to somebody. And he ended up getting busted. And somebody's like, well, isn't that kind of like them episodes of Law and Order SVU? Kind of, except he wasn't a cop. He was a truck driver there for a while. And then when he quit truck driving, I think he went into selling canvas or something. I don't remember. It's been a few years since he's been gone. But, now you've got these AI girlfriends you can get. And it's the same thing. It boils down to wanting a human connection. And, speaking of AI, as an artist, as a writer, if you use AI to write your book, I have no respect for you. I don't want to read it. I don't want to hear about it. This picture here was based off a drawing I made. All I did was use AI to clean it up and do what I wanted with it. I get there are people out there who can draw it. And hey, if you're an artist, I'm sorry if you don't like it. I can't. One girl, for just a rough pencil sketch of this, wanted $900. That's more than I make in a month. And you're saying, oh well, your books. Last year I made $55.38 off my books. The books I had put on audiobooks, I made about $30. I made less than $100 off my books. This year I've made $25, I think. I actually made a little bit this year. But, it's being an independent author like me. I self-publish. And it's just one of those things. A lot of people, I am writing a book that I am going to try to inquire to a traditional publisher. Get it published. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second. That catches me sometimes. I am feeling a little lightheaded. Not going to stop recording yet. I mean, if it gets bad, I can always just stop the recording, splice this out, splice it back in later. But anyway, yeah, I'm checking my email. I'm waiting for confirmation on Discount Extras is being available on Kindle, so then I can share it on Facebook. That whole shebang. But anyway, yeah. See, the difference between independent publishing and traditional publishing is independent self-publishing, I don't go through anybody. I go through a program on Amazon, upload everything, hope I got it right, and then it's up to me to either pay for advertising or advertise the shit out of it. Traditional publishing, you write an inquiry letter to a literary agent, which is somebody that takes your manuscript, cleans it up, and submits it to a regular publisher. And this goes back to the whole human connection thing. That's why I believe there's so many self-published books. Because so many people, you got a lot of people that's got anxiety, can't handle talking to people. Or they're afraid of rejection, which goes back to the whole sex doll thing. Because they're not going to tell you no. But what's going to happen when we get to that point one of these days? Whenever we have, there was a movie back several years ago, AI, artificial intelligence, and it made a good point. AI was replacing children. It was replacing all these jobs that people did, essential services, and people were angry because it was taking their job. And I mean, I was a kid when it came out, and I never really gave it much thought, but as I've gotten older, and I've seen how technology is progressing, I understand that now. I see where they're coming from. And I see where, like these people that would take like my book and you can upload it into AI and it can write you 1,000 books based off of it, whole series and stuff. But that information is being uploaded, stored, and used. See, that's the thing. Even this right here, I mean, I'm computers connected to the internet and all that. It's being stored. Do I think we're going to see a robot uprising? Guys, I don't know from one day to the next, all right? This is the best I've felt in 2 weeks. I'm not in excruciating pain. I can use my right arm today. I can lift up my books a little better. I was actually able to walk 30 feet earlier without falling over, so I'm not worried about the robots right now. But, going back to the self versus traditional publishing, self-publishing authors, you might get a couple of friends that buy some of your books. You might get lucky if you know somebody that knows somebody, or you get on a Facebook group that some famous author or something's on, and you articulate a post properly to catch their attention, or something like that. See, that's why I was going with Sound Booth Theater. They've got millions of subscribers. And yeah, I'll admit, I kind of wanted to piggyback off that to get my idea out there. Doesn't mean I'm going to be slacking on marketing. As soon as I get some copies of my Twilight Hunter books over here, I'm going to be doing videos of them. We're going to be doing video trailers, photo shoots, promote them. There's a bookstore over here in Heber, near where I live, that I'm going to, now that I've got a better computer and a better program, used Google Docs for a long time. Microsoft Word, so much better, so much easier to edit, but Docs worked because it was free and it's worked on damn Chromebook. But I'm going to be able to have my books in there, and she's already agreed it's going to cost me like $35 to set up for a book signing. And I mean, I can sell my books there. And the way she does it, we do it 75-25. She gets 25% of her sales, which is fair because, I'm using her building and all that. She's got to make something. And I'm making a little bit of money off of it. And it gets my books out there. But a traditional publisher is one that they got a line of places like New York Times. They got these places they'll send them and all this. And that's how you see, I mentioned Dungeon Crawler Carl earlier. Matt Knapp originally published that through Kindle Direct Publishing, which is what I use. And now it's like #1 in the world in fantasy and sci-fi stuff. And it's a great book. It is. He's a great writer. I would love to meet him. He's awesome. He's a success story, and that's what I'm striving for. I had a teacher many years ago. I think I might have been Oh, I don't think it was my first grade teacher. Anyway, it was a middle school. I had a teacher, Coach Moat. He told me one day. He said, Matthew, successful people set obtainable goals. Start small. He said, set a goal. He's a big time golfer, and I don't know if he's still around. And I hope, I'm going to have to ask my people around Cersei, see if he is, because I'm going to go see him. And I'm going to shake his hand, hug his neck, tell him thank you, man. It's because of you. I've got 30 books published now. It's because of you, that I went on to become a writer, that I took up blacksmithing. I'm not good at it. I mean, I make a few things. Part of my problem now is this arm. Shouldn't have done that. That hurts. But I set a goal. I set an achievable goal. I wanted to write a book. I did. Back then, my goal, I forget what it was, something, like I said, I don't remember what it was. But that was one of my goals. And that's what each one of these books symbolizes me. That's a goal. That's something they said I couldn't do, and I did it. Star Strider books. 14 years to write the first one. Because I lost interest in it. Depression got to me. I deleted it and whatever else. But I kept going. They're published and they're out there. They're audiobooks now. Book one is out on Audible right now. Avery Mitchell did a bang up job doing it. Awesome job. I was going to have him do the second one, but somebody reached out to me, and as a favor, I had somebody else do the second one. They're going to continue the series. I do have some books Avery will be immaculate at, bang up at. Don't want to reveal that one just yet. But I do write all sorts of books, and that was the goal I had back then. And it's took me 20 years, but I'm there. I made it. And I may not live in a mansion, I may not be rich, whatever else, but I own my own house, I own my land, I own 2 vehicles, I own a business, I write books, my wife runs a successful business. I want it life. That's the way I see it. Everybody's like, oh, but you're bald. I am sexy, okay? You wish you could pull off bald like this to all my haters. Y'all know I'm good looking bald. Anyway, guys, but, getting back to the whole traditional publisher thing, it is my goal. I am going to try to get a book published through one of these days. It may be my book of poetry and short stories I have coming out. It's called Reflections from a Broken Sky. Not really a long book. It's about 80, 90 pages. I'm going to add 2 or 3 more things to it, and then I'm going to edit it and call it done. But once again, it's a goal I want to work toward. And I got a feeling, excuse me, and I got a feeling, perseverance is key. Even if it don't get published by a traditional publisher, self-publish it. And you know what I'll do with the rejection letter? I'll hang it on my wall. Because to me, that's something to work toward. Learn from your failures, learn from your mistakes, that sort of thing. Just like God, teach you about third-party apps. I hope that wasn't real. But if it was, dude, I really hope things work out for you and you learned your lesson. But who knows? Maybe in 100 years, when they're cyborgs and stuff, they'll be going around quoting my books. Yeah, okay. I guess I will. Because I know y'all are. Sneezing is my sinuses. Okay, now the Christmas sleigh bells. I guess I'll explain that. I don't like Christmas. Not one bit. But my wife, she loves it. That's why I encourage her to put up the tree and everything else, because it's worth seeing her smile. It's all worth seeing her happy. I do it for her. I love my wife, I really do. I absolutely adore her. But, let's see if I can find it. Now, I don't like Christmas. As a kid, I had a friend, and she's gone now. Jessica Gully. And when we was in third grade, it came Christmas time, and we had to sing them stupid freaking carols. We Wish You a Merry Christmas. We had our own version. I don't remember exactly how it started, but the chorus was, "We'll chop off your head and shit in your bed, for we do not like you, we wish you were dead." We got in so much trouble over that. So we changed it to, "We'll chop off your head while you're sleeping in bed. We do not like you, we wish you were dead." And it was, "We wish you a Merry Christmas because this will be your last one." And I was writing this and seeing the scene. They're at this warehouse. Wolfgang, Marston, his first mate, which is a werewolf, and Saracea, which is one from the books, which is based on Story for Another Day. Anyway, and there's a necromancer there. Well, necromancer, if you don't know, is a wizard that uses dead bodies and brings them back to life, whatever. But he's took all these bodies and he's ground them up and sewed them together into these big balls that they're rolling around, and they've got different sets of mouths, and they're all singing different Christmas carols, their own versions of them, and that was one of them. And here's another one: "Deck your halls with my balls, la la la, suck my balls, suck your soul out your dick hole." Yes, once again, I know, completely asinine and insane. But as much as I hate Christmas, there is one Christmas carol that I love. It's Silver Bells. Good friend of mine, old man I used to hang out with. Once again, a lot of my friends are dead because friends are getting old as hell. World War II veteran and everything else. Anyway, every year there was a group of Christmas carolers, and they would always come to his house every year on Christmas. He would listen to them, and then he would join them, and they'd drive around, and he would go pick up two other old men. And after the other people had got done singing and all that, Winston, Maurice, and James would get together, and the three of them would sing Christmas carols till midnight. And I always loved it when they sang Silver Bells. That's my favorite. It always has been. But this version of it is the one that Winston wrote one night when he was a little bit tipsy. "Suck my balls, suck my balls. It's time for a blowjob in the city." And the bad thing about this is the guy, Joshua Story, is gonna have to sing this. And it's gonna be on audiobook. People are gonna hear it because I'm gonna exploit the shit out of it. Josh, if you're watching this, dude, we've talked about me advertising, you were doing this and all. I've watched a few episodes of y'all's podcast this past week. Some of it stuck with me, but like I said, the last few days of this stroke, I've been in Oz, dude. But I mean, you guys do a great job. I love it. And it's made me want to play D&D again, which is something I've always loved doing. But, and there was I guess I'll go ahead and read this. "The fourth set of mouths, though, took the cake. Getting sucked off around the Christmas tree. Have a happy, jolly, jizz-filled holiday. You will get a sticky feeling when you hear, suck it, bitch, till it comes out your ears." Oh God, I'm gonna have to put an age restriction on this because I'm sorry. Look, if you're a parent and you go into a store and you see this book and you buy it for your 12, your 13-year-old kid or younger or whatever, there are explicit sex scenes in here, drug use, murder, mutilations, fucked up Christmas carols, some awesome, awesome sea shanties, and here's a ritual one girl is using. There they found the woman in a bizarre situation. She was in a dress made of sliced cheese. On her head was a bowl of bubbling fondue. She was chanting and waving a pair of cheese slices. In front of her was a replica of the moon made of Swiss cheese. Beside it, watching the spectacle with a plastic expression, was a fat goat. Cheese Lord, come out thine cheesy board. All ye words in lack, come out of this cheesy sack. Come and give this cheesy snack. Come out and give the goat's titties a smack. Titty smack, titty smack, titty smack. That's what she's saying while she's waving back and forth with pieces of cheese, and she leans over and starts slapping cheese against the udders of a goat. Yeah, I wrote it. You know why? Why not? But yeah, I mean, it's meant to be fun, and there are some parts that'll get to you. I mean, I don't try to make all of them just over the top. Well, I kind of do, but then again, at the same time, I also want some of them to have kind of a serious tone to them. I don't want it to all be just fart jokes and crude humor. It deals with complications of relationships, breakups, moving on from that, dealing with eldritch gods. The basics. But yeah, I mean, I'm still writing. I'm still doing insane things. Like I said, all my books are on Amazon. I mean, I can read off a list of my books real quick. They're broken up by series, and all of these are on Kindle. And the Requiem of the Damned series. Now, this first one I don't recommend to anybody if you have issues with murder, sexual assault of a minor, things like that. Look, when I wrote it, I was extremely depressed. I was suicidal. It was right after my divorce. I was dealing with that. And honestly, when I wrote it, I was sitting right there in my living room, an old couch I used to have, and I had my old laptop in there. I had a bottle of whiskey there and a loaded 45. And I sat down in the afternoon and I wrote that all out. Because honestly, I'm going to write it out and end it. Luckily, I didn't. But it's called Aberrations, a collection of dark short stories. And it is dark. Then there's the Perkins house. It's based off of a demon that is in the Perkins house named Ferox. If you read Aberrations, then the next one I definitely suggest you read, because a lot of the characters in that book, I mean, I'll admit I did them dirty. First chapter is poor innocent girl is raped and murdered and betrayed by her best friend. And the book is called The Shadows in Her Eye. That girl she gets her justice. She gets saved. That doesn't happen. That is, the rape and all that is nullified. She never has to go through it. I mean, in the second part of Aberrations, and it's in the Perkins house too, her rapist, he gets his. He gets what he had coming to him and then some. Then we have the Welfare and Safety Department, Cryptid Division Files. Originally, Wolfgang was going to be a part of that. But I decided, no, I'm going to make this its own series because I do have plans for the Cryptid Division Files. But the first one is called The Adventures of Harold Hatch, Cryptid Liaison. Dear God, you will laugh, you will cry, you will sit and ask yourself, why? Just trust me. And then there's Aliens, Hippies, and Other Weirdness. It's a collection of short stories that go along with Harold Hatch. and there's a bunch of them make you laugh, and there's a couple that will make you ugly cry. Then we have the Star Strider Chronicles. We already talked about those. Knights of Armageddon. First series is called Guns and Ghouls, a paranormal western. If you like westerns, if you like paranormal books, highly recommend it. Because I wrote it, so yeah, I'm going to recommend it. If you like serial killers and true crime, first and only book I have so far in my Society of the Thorn series is called Letters to Ashley. It's a lot of these aren't very long books. I tend to put a lot of content in the least amount of pages. It's a very good book. You can read it in like an hour and 2 hours. I am working on getting it on audiobook. So far, the ones I've mentioned, all of them except the second Star Strider book and the Perkins House are on Audible right now. Tyler Tice did an amazing job with my Requiem of the Damned series. Only one he didn't do was Shadows in Her Eyes. He's doing Perkins House. He also did Aliens, Hippies, and Other Weirdness, Aberrations. He's doing the Perkins House. He did Guns and Ghouls. Tyler, I love you, man. You are awesome, dude. You blew it out of the water with Guns and Ghouls. I've listened to it 4 times already. I wrote it. Yeah, I listen to my own books, dude. When you get somebody that can bring your story to life like that, it's like my Twilight Hunter series, the first 3 books. Bradley Morris did a bang up job, but due to some financial difficulties I hit, we weren't able to continue our working relationship. By the time I got to where I could pay him, he had already moved on to another project, and there was no hard feelings. I got Matt Mangum continuing the series. He does full immersive cinematic audio, and I couldn't have picked a better narrator. Between him and Brad, it's hard to choose. I don't think I could, but yeah, the first 3 there, that's Desert Blood Hunter, Curse of Cedar Grove, and Legend of the Desert Lich. I highly recommend. They're all in Kindle. They're in print. If you like westerns, if you've got a young reader in your house, there's only a couple of scenes that allude to adult situations. It does not go into any detail. There's no nudity, no harsh language. There are some scenes of horror, so might be for 12 or older. Legends of Colosio. It's a fantasy world. Only one I've got out right now is Rise to Hellcrux. Once again, on Audible. Wayne Keller III. Damn good job. Immaculate job. Brought the characters alive just how I had planned. And when I get Moonborn Book 2 done, which I'm working hard on it, but this has kind of set me back. Some of my books I can get through real quick. Moonborn is one of those that's very in-depth. There's a lot of depth to my characters. It's not as much, outlandish slapstick humor and all. There is humor, but it's more of a coming of age, epic quest, Lord of the Rings type style. So, I take my time with them because I want to do them justice, and that's one of the reasons I write so many books and I publish so many of them. Is so, okay, well, while you're waiting on this one, you try this by me so you can see the scope of what I do. Twilight Hunter series, what I just talked about, follows a guy named Sean Crowley. He's a cowboy, but instead of using a gun all the time, he uses a chopping axe. And his axe is made of Stygian steel. It was forged in hell. And he becomes a hunter, and the series is completed. We got Blood Hunter, Curse of Cedar Grove, Legend of the Desert Lich, Dragons of Rocky Pass, currently in production for Audible. Trail of the Winter Werewolf, Devil's Work, Temple of Zircon, Celestial Cowboy, and Army of the Night. Like I said, I think I did a great job with it. I have a friend in Africa. I sent him some copies of them, and it was like the greatest thing ever because he Skyped me a while back, and he pans the camera around, and his grandfather is like their shaman or medicine man, or I can't pronounce the name of what they call it over there. Kind of like he's one of the elders. He's their holy man, basically. but he has made a cowboy hat out of dried grass. And I mean, that was just like, carry the chopping axe. I was like, dude, that's awesome. I was like, I love it. I actually signed a copy, and I'm sending that personally to him. That was like top tier for me, man. That was something it was awesome. But I also wrote, this one here, Adventures of Wolfgang Howell, Adventures Begin, and of course, Matt Knapp, Discount Exorcist is out now, or should be probably sometime later tomorrow. But my children's books, I have one illustrated book called Steve the Walrus. It's about a walrus who's bored of living at the zoo, and he wants to go out in the world and try to live as a human. He's trying to be something. He's higher than he is, and he wants something more out of life. He wants to be something he's not. And basically, the book's telling kids, be yourself. That's the best you can do. And we got Marcel's Busy Day, which is about one of my little wiener dogs. Marcel, when he wakes up and I'm not home, and he spends all day trying to find his own. And then we have Boris the Bearded Dragon, which the star in it was my bearded dragon. Unfortunately, it did pass away last year. It had health problems from the time we got it. But it's about him going to a garden, because bearded dragons are omnivores. They eat a lot of veggies and insects. But he goes over to a garden, and there's tomatoes, and there's mustard greens, and bell peppers, and banana peppers. And he picks all this, and it's about him trying to get it home and get somebody to make lunch for him. It's a cute little thing. Then there's bath time for Marcel, and it's all about my little dog Marcel trying to avoid getting a bath. And it's a cute little adventure where he's like hiding in different places and finally gets a bath. And then there's the one I made right after that called Marcel's Snow Day. And it's where he's spending the day trying to find somebody to play in the snow with him. They're cute little stories for kids. I mean, they're great for early readers, or if you just like dogs in general. And then, of course, there's the ones I mentioned that are all on Audible. But, yeah, I mean, if you like books, know somebody likes books, check mine out. Check them out on Audible. You can send me an email, hit me up on Facebook or whatever. If you're nice, I'll even give you a promo code to listen to them on Audible. It won't cost you a dime. I mean, what's it going to cost you? If you're driving around, you listen to audiobooks anyway, why not listen to one I wrote? But, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night there, guys, on this. Get this uploaded and edited and everything. Y'all have a great night. Take care of each other and yourselves. And keep me in your thoughts, guys. And, I go in next week for scans and stuff on this blockages here in my neck where I've had, 2 strokes in the last 2 weeks. Luckily, they've been minor, but that's still pretty scary. But all right, guys, this is Matt Knapp signing off for the night. Here in a few days, we're going to have Tyler Tice on, and we're going to be talking about audiobooks, living in Florida, things like that. All right, guys, good night.